Hello, hello, hello. From Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Today we're going to look at Exodus 16 and 17, and we're going to talk about 9 things. First, the children of Israel are out and about in the wilderness. They've had their first test at Marah, didn't do so well, so we're going to see what happens. Well, it's going to be a series of difficulties. 2, they're about a month out of Egypt now. The people are whining to the Lord again. And he says, I'll give you bread. And bread becomes a theme in the Bible. We've already seen it at least one time with Melchizedek. And this is a very important time because he is going to give them manna. In fact, this section of story is so important. Jesus himself mentions it in John chapter 6, just before Jesus says that he is the bread of life. Number 3, it also touches on another theme, which we've seen already, which is Sabbath rest. When God's creating the world, 6 literal days, then 7th day he rests. Same thing here. The manna is going to be there for 6 literal days and not on the 7th. So that just continues through the Bible. And you know what? Americans are terrible at taking a Sabbath rest. We don't have to be nitpicky about which day the New Testament says, but you need to take a day. It never excuses us from taking it. It's for your benefit. Number 4, they also get meat to eat. We find out later in the scripture when the story is retold that they get quail. This is the nice version, by the way. We find out in the other version that God is quite angry with Israel because they just fuss and whine at him and they want meat. Why can't we have some meat? That's what they're asking. And God gives them so much, it feels like it's coming out of their nostrils. He's quite mad. And it is a lot of meat too. We'll get there. Don't want to spoil it. Number 5, people just don't listen. They are given the clear instructions. Hey, collect enough for one day. Don't save it overnight. On the 6th day, collect twice as much, and then there'll be nothing. Well, people don't listen. So let's get with it, people. Let's start listening to God. And those who keep it overnight on the first night find that it gets rotten, it stinks, and it breeds worms. It's inedible. So what they're supposed to do is eat for the day. If they have any left over, they just get rid of it, knowing that God is going to be our daily provider. Give us this day our daily bread, right? And then on the 6th day, they can keep it overnight because there won't be anything the 7th day. And it doesn't breed worms and it doesn't stink. So, hey, listen to God. Number 6, they keep some in a special container that subsequent generations can see the manna. Whew, that's awesome. Wish I could have seen it. Maybe it's still out there somewhere with the Ark of the Covenant. Not sure. 7, there's no water in Rephidim, so the people, guess what? Complain. On Mount Horeb, hey, we've been there before. This is the holy mountain of God, Mount Horeb. Moses strikes the stone, water comes out, and it's got to be a lot of water. It's not just a little water fountain's worth. They've got to give water for 2.4 million people and all their cattle. That has got to be like a river coming off of this mountain. Number 8, then starts the fighting. Remember, they're coming into a land that's full of Canaanites and Amorites and Hivites and all this. And so now we find out they're fighting the Amalekites. And Joshua, the right-hand man for Moses, is going to lead the fight. So he's going to be important. We'll keep track of Joshua. And finally, another miracle in this fight. As long as Moses holds his hands up, they win. When he starts putting them down, they start losing. So Aaron and Hur, H-U-R, hold up his arms so that they could continue to have victory. Pretty amazing. Let's check it out. Chapter 16. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel went into the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing of the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said to them, Would that, God, we would have died by the hand of the Lord in Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we would eat bread to the full. For you have brought us forth to this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. We'd rather be slaves than to die. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from the heaven for you, and the children shall go out and gather at certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And Moses and Aaron said to all the children of Israel, At evening you shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. And in the morning you shall see the glory of the Lord, for he heareth your murmurings against the Lord. And what are we that you murmur against us? And Moses said, This shall be, when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. For that which the Lord heareth your murmurings, which ye murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. And Moses spake to Aaron, Say unto the congregation of the children of Israel, Come near to the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked unto towards the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in a cloud. And the Lord spake to Moses, saying, I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying that ye shall eat flesh. And in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God. And it came to pass that at the evening quails came up and covered the camp. And in the morning the dew lay around the host. And remember, we'll get the details in the second version of this story. It was a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, It is manna, for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, This is the bread which the Lord has given you to eat. This is the thing which the Lord has commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man, according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in their tents. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, and some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he gathered much, had nothing left over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And Moses said, Let no man leave of it till morning. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moses was wroth with them. And they gathered it every morning, and every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came to and told Moses, and he said to them, This is what the Lord has said. Tomorrow is the rest for the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake what ye shall bake today, and seethe what you shall seethe. That which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. And they laid it up till morning, and Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. And Moses said, Eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. And it came to pass, when there went out some people to gather on the 7th day, they found none. And the Lord said to Moses, How long will ye refuse to keep the commandments of my laws? See, for the Lord hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he has given you the 6th day of bread 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place, let no man go out of his place the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. And the house of Israel called the name therefore manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. And Moses said, This is the thing which the Lord commandeth, fill an omer to be kept for your generations, that we may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, and I have brought you forth from the land of Egypt. And Moses said unto Aaron, Take a pot, and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before the Lord to be kept for your generations. And the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years until they inhabited the land. They did eat manna until they came into the borders of the land of Canaan. Now an omer is 1/10 of the part of an ephah. Chapter 17, and all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from their wilderness of sin, and in their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses, and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said, Why chide ye with me? Wherefore you tempt the Lord? And the people thirsted there for water, and the people murmured against Moses, and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us, and our children, and our cattle with thirst? And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, What shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee the elders of Israel, and thy rod, wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thy hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, and the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel, and they called the place Massah, which is temptation, and Meribah, that is chiding or strife, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or not? Then Amalek came and fought with the children of Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose out men, and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses said unto him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went to the top of the hill. And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy. And they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, one on one side and one on the other side. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek with his people and with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under the heavens. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nisi, or Yahweh Nisi. The Lord is my banner. For he said, Because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So God provides, despite the fact that the people complain. Let's keep up with the story. Catch you next time.